Oh my god. Remember in Yu-Gi-Oh! When Jade and Yuki decided to commit genocide towards like a handful of duelists? I didn't see that far into Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Actually, I want to look this up right now. 10 times Jaden broke the rules. Oh good, one of these websites. Searching his teammate's deck, banned cards. Oh, here it is. Committing genocide. While this isn't a rule in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game, most people consider the mass slaughter of countless innocent lives to be breaking at least one rule. While under the influence of his past life as the Supreme King... Didn't know we were taken from Buddhism here. Jaden kidnaps and kills hundreds of duelists in an attempt to create the ultimate fusion card. See, remember when Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards were made out of fucking paper, and that was it? Yes, that too. Jaden, you're a fucking simp. He eventually succeeds in creating super polymerization, but at the cost of countless innocent lives. So he just goes full-on evil and kills hundreds of duelists to create a polymerization card? Dude, just fucking wait till 5 days. What are you doing? Imagine committing mass genocide for the sake of your foreign exchange love interest. Does he really look that good? Is he really worth it? This is literally if Sonic was fucking humanized. This is if an actual animator decided, you know what? I kinda dig what these DeviantArt kids are getting at. Humanize Sonic. Let's make it a thing. Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh? Sure, let's make that happen too. I will say though, I simp for this dragon. Jesse's mediocre. But Rainbow Dragon? Top notch. Alright, furries and weebs. Why do they hate each other? For pretty stupid reasons, if I'm gonna be honest. I mean, no, there are actually justifiable issues on why furries might hate weebs and why weebs might hate furries. Both of which sort of revolves around their own, I guess, issues. You see it all the time online. You got someone with the Hatsune Miku avatar saying that furries are nothing but zoophiles. They fuck animals, they have sex in costumes, whatever you may have it. Then usually, when this is the case, furries tend to bite back. I accidentally made a pun there, didn't I? It's okay, you can cancel me now. But furries do hit back, as most of you know. So when there's low-hanging fruit to grab at, they're gonna do it. So they usually fight back with the, weebs, they're nothing but pedophiles. Have you seen the lolly community? Yeah, you know, I really love having a waifu that's underage. And the same thing goes for them, where they dress up as their anime characters and have sex in those outfits. Like, to be honest, both of these arguments have some validity. There are issues in both communities with pedophilia, zoophilia, and just shitty people in general. And also blatant levels of toxicity, but as someone who hasn't really delved into the anime community or anime fandom, I can't say for sure. I'm only just taking examples from what I've heard through the grapevine, and really just what I've seen online. The Hatsune Miku avatar calling me a zoophile. What a fun time, huh? But seriously though, why do these two communities fight so much? I mean, obviously we got gamers, but that's an entirely different breed, and personally I wouldn't send an exorbitant amount of money to Ninja. Honestly, the gaming community, I try to just stay away from entirely, even though we're all sort of the same in some sense. We're all part of the wondrous expanse known as geek culture. So in reality, most of you guys watching this are geeks. You have an interest in delving into fictional worlds, fantasy, sci-fi, whatever you may have it. If you're interested in storytelling and using your creative juices to create art, most furries create art. And same thing with weebs and gamers and all these other subcategories of geek culture. It ranges from Dungeons and Dragons to comic books to gaming even, to anime and furries, believe it or not. All of these different interests or hobbies that revolve around art and bringing something fictional to life, whether it's tangible or intangible. It all revolves around geek culture. But seriously though, all of these hobbies overlap in some sense. But for whatever reason, furries are seen as the most outcasted out of all these hobbies. And I don't really get it. All hobbies and interests are going to have their own issues, similar to furries, like the anime lovers. We've discussed this multiple times. So it's just really weird to see how the argument is that, ew, everyone is gross. We don't want any overlap. I don't get it. I mean, in this sense, I'm more on the side of furries with this one, because from what I've seen, anime lovers or weebs tend to instigate the hate, or I guess just instigate in general against furries. Most other hobbies from what I've seen that revolve around geek culture don't really have a problem with us, especially comic book lovers. Like I went to Boston Fan Expo back in summer 2019, and I wore my fursuit there. You probably saw a video relating to this on my channel, fun fact. And honestly, I got nothing but positive comments, nothing but a positive response, people wanting pictures with me, people wanting to get hugs. It was just seen as a normal cosplay. Now obviously, I did have one bad, I guess, experience where a bunch of kids were huddled around in the middle of a walking space, and I walk past them, and I hear one of them go, ew, furry, and I look over at them, and they give me this sort of disgusted look, and then then I look at their phones, and all of them are just standing there playing Pokemon Go in the middle of a walkway, being nothing but a nuisance, because you gotta walk past them because they're just, hey, you know what? Parents dropped me off here. I've got nothing better to do. I'm gonna play Pokemon Go and be the biggest fucking problem for everyone that isn't me. And that's what they decided to do. That was the only negative experience I had with fursuiting at a comic book convention. Well, it wasn't just a comic book convention. It was a lot of other things, but point being, most people there were fine with it. And it's weird to think as well that weebs on the other end do get a bit of flack like furries do. And what I mean by this is that the stereotypes that you hear or see with regards to weebs are genuinely a small minority that have a tendency to be seen a lot more. You know, those weebs that have a tendency to be socially awkward and very loud and obnoxious with regards to their interest or with regards to anime, or just don't really know those social boundaries. I mean, furries are the same way. Those are a small minority, at least from what I can understand. Like, even like, I want to look this up because I saw this article, surprisingly, in a Bungie forum. You know, the dead game, Destiny 2? Yeah, people were arguing about furries and weebs in that. Why do people hate furries, weebs, and vegans? Vegans, huh? See, like, I didn't know there was a vegan fandom. You know, eating plants? That's my best form of entertainment. You kidding me? These two things are hobbies. The veganism is a way of life. They're different. Well, let me show you this article because it's pretty interesting. It's pretty infatuating, actually. Why do people hate furries, weebs, and vegans? Vegans don't harm me, neither do furries and weebs. And are team mascots technically furries if they have an animal character? I should have done this for a separate video, goddamn. Because weebs are annoying and feel the need to find and bother non-weebs with how everything looks like their favorite anime, no matter how vague or superficial the similarities may be. That was a really good statement. So what I'm getting from these comments is they're understanding that weebs and furries are annoying because the loud minority that tend to show themselves and be more open about the weeb or furry thing, you're not really gonna have the best opinion of them. It's like the whole thing with first impressions are lasting impressions. If the first furry or weeb I meet is very lackluster in terms of social etiquette, my opinion on the entire genre as well is gonna be like, oh shit, are these people like this? Is this normal? So that's where the tendency of thinking that the rest of them are weird or obnoxious or annoying comes into play. And this can even go between hobbies as well, with, you know, obviously this being a gaming hobby or interest. It's a part of geek culture. Same thing can go for weebs. You have a normal weeb that meets a very out there furry. I'm not saying that's bad, but there are out there furries. I was one of them. You're gonna have a tendency for that one individual to hate that specific hobby. Wow, that was the most in-depth explanation that I've had all day. But as expected with most geek culture, socially, these groups are weird. Socializing and being somewhat chill, and even just having social grace can sometimes be a hard thing. And usually those that are very passionate and outgoing and just really want to make friends or express their passions and interests end up coming off as a bit odd. I'm not going to delve into the mind with regards to socializing and doing that the right way. That is not my job, and I really don't know how that works entirely. I myself struggle with that. And ultimately, there's no difference between being a weeb and a furry. I mean, obviously there's the hobby difference, but in terms of geek culture, we're not that different. It's kind of dumb that there's some sort of war going on, or just this stereotypical hate that goes between the two, with weebs being pedophiles and furries being zoophiles. Why can't we just like work together to take on the gamers, or just us being stupid and fighting like this doesn't really help anyone in general. But in terms of anime versus furries are more new. They're up and coming and only recently have been exposed to the public eye. With weebs and just general art form with regards to anime, it's been very open and very used in the past few years. And in terms of both of these geek cultures, I'd say that furries are the more accepting and chill of the two. Like, realistically, furries don't mind weebs, and we love anime. Like, look at Beastars and Brand New Animal and the Beastars. But in general, furries don't mind the other sub-hobbies in geek culture. And I think it's just the other end of it, where weebs despise furries because they're gross and cringy, and the public in general doesn't like them, and fuck you. That's one thing I forgot to mention, is that I think the reason why furries despise weebs and weebs despise furries, even though it's more so the weebs despise the furries, is that they want to maintain the public image of their community. So when they see another group or hobby try to sort of delve into the other community, and that one community, from what they understand, has some bad stereotypes with it, they genuinely don't want them involved for the sake of their public image. I think ultimately we can put aside our differences and work together to build communities and build the public image of us to be a bit better. I'm not really sure how to end this video besides like, subscribe, and also I have a Gatreon. If you want to get some I don't know, life jacket pics, feel free to go there. You can join my Discord server for $1 a month on Patreon. For the Patreon only server, we got a great community. Also send me money. Yeah, that's about it.
That's a pretty shit tier intro, and even though